Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning, sir.
morning, sir.
Good morning. In the previous class, we have seen the two aspects of Vedic education. That was one was Chaturasram, and the another was the Purusarth.
Purusar.
Ah, so these two things we had already discussed. However, the detailed discussion on the Vedic education was remain left. So today we will see in detail that what is the Vedic education, what was its feature, and side by side we will also try to link while discussing its feature, aim of Vedic education, different aspect of Vedic education to the present situation. Because when we think of learning any school of philosophy in the educational studies, we must link that what is its significance in the today world. Otherwise, for the sake of learning, because it is in the syllabus, it will not be very much fruitful. So we will try to link that how the Vedic system of education is still very significant. This is the one thing. Another thing that by seeing the significance of Vedic education in the present scenario, National Education Policy 2020 also talks that the education system in the country must be a blend of the Vedic system of education, means it must have features of Vedic education together with the modern theories, modern types of education. So it must be a blend. We cannot leave what was very good in the ancient time, and we can also come with what is in the modern era. So both should be there, and that's why it should be a blend of the Vedic and the modern system of education. This was the one thing. When we talk about the Vedic, it comes from the word Vedas. Okay, and we know that there are four Vedas. When we talk the ancient literature, ancient text, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Ved, and Atharva Ved. These are the four Veds in the ancient text. Then, when we talk about the Veda, it is actually a Sanskrit word which means the knowledge. Veda literally means the knowledge. And that's why when we talk about the different Vedas, that four Vedas have taken the name, it is concerned with the different system of knowledge. Like that, when we talk about the Atharva Ved, it is related to the earth, economy, money. Okay, so like that, there is a system of knowledge. Okay, and when we talk about the Vedic education system, then it means a kind of education system based a kind of education system that was available in the ancient time based upon the knowledge available in the Vedas, the learning of Veda. That is the main meaning of the Vedic education. When we talk about the Vedic education, It was very unique in nature and it have a lot of significance in the today world. The first thing when we talk about the Veda is Vedic education. Then we come across the Gurukul system of education because in the Vedic period, uh, majority of the education, formal education, was imparted through the Gurukul. There was other modality of education also, like a seminar, like a debates, other mode of education. Those were the informal mode of education. But the formal system of education, like that when we talk about the formal system of education in the modern time, then we take the name of schools, college, higher education institutes like that. So the Gurukul was a center of education at that time and it was fully residential in nature. It was not a day boarding type, it was a fully residential in nature, where Guru, that is the teacher, Sis, that is the student, were both staying in the same premises and they had a very holy and very good relationship between the Guru and Sis. And when we talk about the modern theory of education, learning, it also emphasizes that there must be a very cordial relationship between the teacher and a student so that the student can share their thought, their difficulty with the teacher and teacher can also understand the learner and by understanding the learner they can impart the teaching learning process. So whatever we are talking now in the name of the modern system of education that was also available in the ancient India as a guru, and that's why uh, when we see that this Vedic system of education is still so much have a relevance in the modern time, and by identifying those relevance, even now the government has blended that approach in the new national education policy. And even well before that, when we talk about the Swami Dayananda Saraswati, he has established a Arya Samaj and then he has established a modern Gurukula in the 1886, 1886, 1886.
Hello.
Dayananda Saraswati has established a modern Gurukula in 1886 and that is known as the Dayanand Anglo-Vedic schools. And even after that also in 1948, uh, Sasi Maharaj Dharmji Das has also established a similar kind of a school inspired by the Dayanand Saraswati, which was known as Swami Narayan Gurukul in the Rajasthan. So they have identified the features, they have identified the merits of the Gurukul system, Vedic system of education, and they have tried to make a blend of the Vedic system and the modern system. Even when we talk about the Vedic system of education, at that time, the educational institutes means the Gurukul. Gurukul enjoyed a full autonomy, means they were able to design the curriculum, they were able to design the modality of imparting education, and they were free from the unnecessary disturbance from the state or the government. Who was the government at that time? The king was the ruling. So they were free from that. They had enjoyed a full autonomy. Even when we talk about the Vedic system of education, there was no gender discrimination. Means men and women both were allowed to take admission and complete their education in the Gurukul. The Gurukul system of education also identifies the importance important role of mother in the learning process, and that's why the Gurukul says that before taking the admission to the Gurukul, which is usually happens after completing the Upanayan Sanskar, है ना? Upanayan Sanskar, or we know it as a thread ceremony. So after thread ceremony, the children are entitled to take admission. So before that, the mother has to take care of the educational learning need of the child, and they have to prepare the child for the formal education system that in the modern time we used to know as a school readiness program, like that the pre-primary school, or better to say that the LKG, UKG, that kind of a schooling, play schooling, that kind of a education system you must have seen. So that was the responsibility of a mother, and it identifies the role of a mother in the learning process. And students were eligible for admission after the Upanayan Sanskar. Even uh, the education system in the Gurukul was free of charge. There was no fees for the education. And in that way, we can say that education was available to everybody in that time because it was a free of cost. And the education system was also enjoying the full autonomy. So the door of the Gurukul was open to all. However, there are incidents, there are traces which says that there was restriction of taking admission to the untouchables. So there was also that kind of an incident, but even though the untouchables were not eligible to take admission, but the education was free. And even though it is also traced in the literature that the guru, the teacher, was mainly the Brahmins. Other were not supposed to impart education. And in most of the time, the untouchables were not entitled to get education. So that was also some downside. But that's why Dayanand Saraswati, or the recently National Education Policy, try to blend both ancient system and the modern system, so that the merit of ancient system can be blended with the modern system for evolving a quality education infrastructure and a system. Even at that time, the guru or acharya, or we know that the teacher, was having a very high status in the society. They were the respectable person in the society, acharya and the teacher. So that the potential of a teacher in nurturing the student's life was identified and recognized also. And Gurukul, when we talk about the Gurukul and the Vedic system of education, it was also based upon the need of the child. Need of the child means the vocational part of the education was also taken care, because one of the important feature of the Gurukul was that after completing the education, they must be able to earn the livelihood. So that was the important feature, that is the vocational education, like the carpentry, poetry, agriculture, all was a part of a Vedic system of education. So in that sense, when we see, the Vedic system of education was very much enriched, it was very important, and there are a lot, except some drawbacks, like that the no admission policy for the untouchables, or the teacher will be only the Brahmins. Other thing may be taken for improving the teaching learning situation in the country in the recent time. Okay, so this was the very brief introduction and the future of Vedic system of education, because we cannot talk much about that. It's a very big thing. Okay, so I will be touching every aspect of the Vedic education in brief manner, or whatever the schools of philosophy we will be studying in this paper. Okay, yes, now we can take a question. Yes, what was the question? Can you repeat once again? Hello.
हेलो
Can you repeat once again?
सर सर जो कहले मॉडर्न थियोरी ऑफ एजुकेशन लर्निंग वेरी कार्डियल वैदिक सिस्टम ऑफ एजुकेशन सर सेटा टिके बुझिबार थिला
I was saying that in the Vedic system of education, there was very cordial relationship between the teacher and student, and it was a process to understand the child, so that the child can share their difficulty, share their,
सर
so that they can understand the teacher, and the teacher can also understand the child. And when we talk about the modern system of education, that also talks that a teacher must understand the student, and a student must be very free with the teachers, so that they can develop a good relationship, understandable relationship, and that is known as a cordial relationship. Okay, so that is in aligned with the modern system of education. Okay, so that in that sense, the ancient system of education, the Vedic system of education, was very important, and it has its significance in the modern time. Okay, any other question? No question. So shall I proceed to the next section?
Yes, sir. Proceed.
Okay. So now we will see the aim of Vedic education. What was the aim of Vedic education? Sometimes it is misunderstood that the Vedic system of education was religious in nature, because there we were supposed to study the Vedas, Upanishads. Okay, so in that sense, it is misunderstood that the ancient system or a Vedic system is a religious education system in nature. However, it is not true, because the system of education was not a religious. It was open to all, and Vedas were the mode of imparting education, because the Vedas are supposed to a teaser of knowledge. That's why in the beginning I have defined Veda means a knowledge. So through that, they were trying to impart the knowledge. That's why. That one thing. Another thing is that ultimate goal of education, aim of education during the Vedic time was to reach the moksha. Moksha, that is the self-realization. You must be able to understand yourself as a human, your potential, your duty. That is the self-realization. What kind of a potential you have, what kind of a thing that you need to improve, and how you can be a productive part of a society. That is the self-realization. So that was the ultimate goal of the education system of a Vedic period, that is the Vedic education. Then the other aim was the personality development. One of the aim of a Vedic system of education was a personality development. Through the self-realization, you should understand who are you, why you have taken birth, what is the purpose of coming on the earth, and how you can be a productive part of the society, how you can be a supportive part of a society. That is the self-realization and the self-respect. You have a potential, you are productive part of a society, you can do something, and that's why you deserve a self-respect. Self-confidence on your abilities, your strength, and you must be able to discriminate, you must be able to judge what is wrong and what is good, so that your act will be appropriate. Because in order to have an appropriate act to the situation, you must be able to judge what is required, what should be there. That's why the personality development in these aspects was one of the important goal of imparting education during the Vedic time. Another aim of education was the character formation. So that character formation means when how we are acting in the society in front of others, and respecting the intellectual power, knowledge, not the other thing. Intellect power is important, and that's why when you will see the ancient literature, you will find that the knowledge and the gyan, wisdom, is the two things that will remain with you. Other things are the physical, a part of a physical world that will not go with you. You will be remembered for your act and for your knowledge. You will be respected not as a person, but what kind of a knowledge you have. Then another aim of the Vedic education system says that the civil and societal duty, your duty towards the other fellow being, your duty towards the society, your duty towards the nature, your responsibility towards the nature, that you must be able to understand, and how we can pay back to the society. You will be surprised to know that when we get education, irrespective of the type of institution, whether it is a government institution or it is a private institution, a lot of resource of the country is invested in a person for educating. And if the society and country is not getting benefit out of his education, then all those investment are the meaningless. So this talks that you must understand your role and responsibility towards the society. And not only that, the Vedic system of education also recognize that after the education, the person must be able to earn their livelihood. They must be able to earn something for their family. And that's why the vocational education, hands-on experience, and the practical education was a part of the education system during the Vedic period. Just before I was talking that the vocational they had a variety of a thing like that pottery, like that the agriculture, like that the blacksmith, carpentry, so many vocations was there. The vocation that was significant and relevant at that time. Nowadays there are so many things, but whatever that time it was available, it was there. And the next aim of the Vedic education was that okay, you have developed personality, character formation done, you have learned skill for your livelihood, but one of the important aim of the Vedic system was to preserve and spread the culture. You have to preserve the good things that you have, and you have to spread that is very much required for the coming time and for the other society also. So preserving and spreading, that was also one of the important feature of Vedic education. Okay, so that was the uh, aim and objective of a Vedic education. And again, we can have a small question answer session. So anybody having any type of a question or a doubt, up to here, they may ask some question. Otherwise, we may proceed to the next part.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, जो last point sir अपन को to preserve and spread the culture,
Hmm.
sir sir एथरे sir culture सहित भी sir सेही टाइम रे sir forest से जो natural resources को ସେମାନେ भी रक्षा करथिले माने माने कहले बाह्य एजेंट मानको भी से जिंस को से सेव करथिले जेमि फॉरेस्ट हो कि जहा भी हो सेटा को प्रिजर्व कर भी रखुथिले माने सेटा भी करियो ना सर.
See, when we talk about the culture, culture doesn't means only the tradition or the act of the human or the person. Culture means, in the broader term, all the things to which you are related. Like that, one thing may be the religious culture, means your affiliation towards the religion. One thing may be the spiritual culture, means your conception about the being a human. One thing may be the vocational culture, the thing which is required for living life in the society. Like that, when we talk about the culture, it consists all the things, even the surroundings, even the environment, even empathy for the animals also. Not a sympathy. I'm not using the word sympathy. Empathy. Empathy towards the animals also. So all constitute a part of a culture. So when I am saying to spread and preserve the culture, it automatically includes all the things. Preserving culture is necessary so that it can go from one generation to another generation. And spreading is also required because the good thing of one society must reach to the other society.
सर नॉर्मली सर स्प्रेड माने सर एबे भी जो सिचुएशन कोविड स्प्रेड करूछंती
हाँ।
वन सुपर स्प्रेडर वन एटा सर नॉर्मल एग्जांपल गोटे ना
हाँ।
स्प्रेड करे माने मोठो आ जण पाखु जीवो आ जण पाखु जीवो सेटा गोटे ट्रांसमिट प्रोसेस ना कहया गोटे वन टाइप ऑफ किंतु प्रिजर्व माने कंजर्व करी रखिया जेंति सॉइल कंजर्वेशन होची सेमती कोन हमर जो जते सब जो प्रैक्टिस गोडा अछि ट्रेडिशनल प्रैक्टिस गोडा हम तो कोन कंजर्व करिके पजे भी रखु जे प्रिजर्व के रखु जेमति कि हम फ्यूचर जनरेशन आस्ते आस्ते से जिंस को ये करि परिबे सेटा को तो प्रिजर्व मींस कंजर्वेशन एंड स्प्रेड मीन नॉर्मली हम जन को ट्रांसमिट करबा जिंसटा
Okay,
सर
Chandni.
मैं एक अच्छा एग्जांपल दूं
Yes, yes, Chandni, please. I need your
सर
example.
जैसे कि हम लोग के घर मतलब मेरे घर में कुछ जैसे कि पूजा होता है जैसे छठ पूजा हुआ तो वो हम लोग के पेरेंट्स जानते हैं वो लोग अगर उसका इम्पोर्टेंस वो क्या होता है कैसे करते हैं हम लोग को नहीं बताएंगे तो वो हम लोग के पास हम लोग के कल्चर प्रिजर्व नहीं हुआ हम लोग मतलब हम लोग मम्मी के बाद हमारे मतलब हम लोग करेंगे उसके बाद हमारे जो बच्चे होंगे वो लोग करेंगे और स्प्रेड करना जैसे कि मेरा हम लोग का नेबर में है कोई तो वो लोग पूछेंगे ये क्या है तो हम लोग बोलते हैं ऐसे ऐसे फेस्टिवल होता है ये सब करते हैं तो स्प्रेड होगा ना वो जानेंगे फिर वो अपने किसी रिलेटिव को बताएंगे तो ऐसे स्प्रेड हो सकता है
Let us come to the admission policy. When we talk about the Vedic education system, and in the Vedic education system, we know that the education was organized in the Gurukul, where there was teacher known as a Guru or Acharya, and the student that is a Sisya were coming. Like that, nowadays we have a variety of admission policy, admission technique, shortlisting the student. Like that, when you have taken the admission, there was two tiers of shortlisting. One was based on your performance in the entrance, another was your performance in the career mark. That was so by mixing these two things, we have shortlisted the candidate. However, when we talk about the Vedic system of education, there was no such policy on record. Means on record there is no such policy that how the student will be chosen for admission in Gurukul. There was no such policy. However, the Guru were organizing some sort of readiness activity to choose the appropriate candidate. Sometimes it was verbal, sometimes it was hands-on experience, and sometimes it was through the debate and discussion. And they were categorized into three parts. One is with the high intellect, another one is with the low average intellect, and the last one is with poor intellect. So these was the categorization of student. However, there is no policy on record. There was no discrimination at all on the basis of gender. However, you will find there is some controversy that women were not given education, but at the same time, you will find there are so many mathematicians, astronomers at that era. So if they were not entitled for education, then how they are? So briefly we can understand that there was no gender discrimination. However, there are traces of discrimination on the basis of caste. Untouchables, which are now known as Dalits, they were not entitled to get admission in the Gurukul. And the famous incident of Eklavya, all we know that Eklavya went to Guru Drona for taking education in his Gurukul. And by knowing his caste, Guru Drona refused to impart the education to the Eklavya. So that was also one of the bad practices at that time, that all the person were not entitled to get education. Majority of the person were either the Brahmins were entitled to get education in the Gurukulas, or the Kshatriya. These two were entitled to get education. Even when we talk about the teacher, only Brahmins can be a teacher at that time. Even the Kshatriya were not teacher at that time. And other caste also, even the Vas were not teacher at that time. Vas means those who are doing a business community. They were not entitled to become a teacher at that time. So these were the some gist of the admission policy in the Gurukul at that time. Okay, so again, I will take some sort question answer session and then we will end this class. Is there any question related to the admission policy? Any question?
सर
हाँ, दुर्गा.
जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कास्ट होतला सर एक्चुअली एटा होबार कारण कोन माने एक्चुअली ସେମାନେ ଚାहू नथिले अंटरचेबल्स माने पढिया पई तार किछि माने सोशल इंपैक्ट अछि और एनी अदर इंपैक्ट सर किछो तो
See, exact what was the reason I cannot say, because either it is not documented, or if it is documented, it has not come to my eye. But as per my understanding, there was several reasons. One reason was the incident of untouchability, because if something you will think that they are untouchable, we should not mingle with them, then how you will allow them to be with you? That is the one thing. That is the mentality, that is the thought process. Incident of untouchability. Suppose that there is something you don't want to touch, you don't want to mingle with them, you don't want to be with them. So how you will impart them education? Because if you will impart education, they are supposed to be in the Gurukul, which was residential in nature. That was the one thing that was on the part of a teacher. There was another reason on the part of the other member of the Gurukul. At that time, Brahmins and Kshatriya were the powerful. Okay. So if they will have a feeling of untouchability, then again it will be a problematic situation. Another thing was the power exercise. Those who are in the power, they want to be in the power always. In the power, the Brahmins and Kshatriya were in the power. So if untouchable will get education, they will also uplift their life and they will also try to be in the power. Like that, the same mentality is existing now also. Why government is not opening schools? Why government is not facilitating hospitals? Government have a lot of money to waste on so many unnecessary things. Government have a money to waste on the creating the statue, but they don't have money to open the quality school, which is lacking in the country, because they don't want to educate. Because once you will be educated, you will start questioning them, you will start challenging them, isn't it? So these were the some of the reason. However, what was the exact reason for that time, I don't know. This is my concept, sir.
सर
Yes, please.
सर सर ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम कि हमारा जो ऑक्यूपेशन होता है कि डिसाइडेड फ्रॉम बर्थ एंड आल्सो कास्ट, तो ये भी तो हो सकता है ना कि कास्ट इसी कास्ट में है तो वो लोग ऐसे काम करेंगे, उनका ऑक्यूपेशन ऐसा होगा. दैट इज व्हाई दे वर नॉट पुटिंग एम्फासिस ऑन एजुकेशन आल्सो कि मतलब द फैसिलिटीज आर नॉट प्रोवाइडेड टू ऑल द मेंबर्स ऑफ एवरी कास्ट. ऐसा भी तो सर हो सकता है, ये एक रीजन
हो सकता है, बट देयर इज नो सच known vocation for which education is not required. Even if you are not doing any work, the education is required. कौन सा काम करने के लिए education? हाँ बोलिए.
सर और एक क्वेश्चन है कि सर आप जैसे एग्जाम्पल दिए द्रोणाचार्य एंड एकलव्य, सर ऐसे भी तो हो सकता है कि वो द्रोणाचार्य was giving teachings only to Kshatriyas and also Kshatriyas, but सर हमारा जो परशुराम जो थे टीचर गुरु जो थे वो तो सर ओनली ब्राह्मण्स को तो मतलब पढ़ाते थे ना, तो सर हम इससे कैसे इंक्लूड करें इन दैट एजुकेशन इन वैदिक एजुकेशन एजुकेशन सिस्टम में?
That's why I am saying that during the Vedic period discrimination was there, and that is also reflecting in your opinion that Parshuram was only educating to the Brahmins and the Guru Drona was educating to the Brahmin and Kshatriya. Okay, that is actually when we talk about the teacher and the education system, it should be open to all. If I am a teacher, I cannot choose. I will say that no, I don't want
Yes,
to teach the girl student. If I am having some that kind of a mentality, then I am not a good teacher.
yes sir. So it is found and it is reflected in the modern education policy. But in Vedic education, there was discrimination, gender discrimination, caste discrimination, so सब कुछ तो था ना?
हाँ था. I am also expecting. I am saying also same thing. But when I am
जी sir.
when I am talking about reflecting the Vedic education to the new education policy, that time also I have told that the good thing can be taken, like the student-teacher relationship, like the curriculum that I will be discussing in the next class, like that the modality of imparting education, pedagogy, all those things can be taken. So that will be taken. Discrimination part will not be taken. Okay.
जी सर. सर और ये जो द्रोणाचार्य वाला और ये जो परशुराम वाला, इसका एग्जाम्पल हम डिस्क्रिमिनेशन में इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं तो सर?
हाँ बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं, क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं.
जी सर, जी सर, थैंक यू सर.
Okay, anything else?
सर जो कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन टा सर इट इज टोटली बेस्ड ऑन प्यूरिटी एंड पॉल्यूशन कोई परिबा कि एटा को?
I cannot say like that. कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के पीछे में बहुत सारा रीजन होता है. Okay, and sometimes it is a political reason, sometimes it is a matter of mentality, sometimes it is a matter of power. So many things are there. Okay, so
ओके सर.
saying only one reason, I think it is not justifiable. Okay.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर.
Okay. I think it's already 12:27. So shall we stop this class here?
यस सर.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being with me. Have a nice day.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.